For starting the paper reviews with The Nation. Major headline: Ministers, others with political ambition get March 31st, quit date. NELFUND gives 206 billion to 1.16 million students in 270 institutions. A setback for budget passage with Senate shift of resumption. I support Tinubu, don't waste your vote in 2027, says Soludo. Monarch buys drone, hires 118 security personnel. Security tax, social welfare top on ADC manifesto. Thursday, Friday are holidays for the Eid-al-Fitr. We have here terrorist attacks, service chief relocate to Maiduguri. And CAF strips Senegal of AFCON 2025 title, awards it to Morocco. What do we have in The Nation? Ready to go?
Okay, so the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFUND, has said it has spent over 206 billion on student loans in 270 tertiary institutions nationwide. The agency said disbursements were made within 23 months of its launch by President Bola And Remi Tinubu. Latest figures from NELFUND indicated that over 1.7 million applications have been received since the loan portal opened in May 2024, with over 1.1 million students successfully benefiting from the scheme. That's a great one. A breakdown of the disbursement showed that 128.84 billion was paid directly to beneficiary institutions as tuition fees, while 77.45 billion was released to students as upkeep allowance, covering both academic and living expenses. But there's something great that that needs to be commended. Because some, how they're paying out this loans in badges to tertiary institutions. So some institutions have not yet received their own payment.
Many haven't.
Yeah, many haven't. But then they did not stop the students from continuing their education or writing the exams. One of the schools, which is Delta State University, Abraka, who the NELFUND, the boss, praised for allowing students with verified or disbursed loan status to sit for their first semester 2025 to 2026 examinations upon presenting proof of the application status.
That's my school.
Yes, so they said that this is great because this should be this is a collaboration between the schools and the government, and it also shows faith and trust that they know the government, that they know that they are going to pay, and that this at the end of the day, the essence of this whole thing is not to disrupt the kids from going to school, to allow children who can afford this monies to be able to continue their academic sessions, and they're happy that they're able to meet that. So congratulations to the government. Anyone with government to, may we commend them.
And well done to Delsu.
Yes.
Setting the pace.
Yeah. Well, NELFUND's disbursement has plenty. There are plenty issues.
Please,
People are
please,
complaining.
can we encourage
So
my
please,
school?
as we are praising based on the paper, we should also ask NELFUND to please go on Twitter. There are several complaints of people saying funds disbursed had not gotten to the account for months. So please let us check on those as well.
That's amazing. Well done.
I have service chiefs and other security heads are to relocate to Maiduguri to take charge of counter-insurgency operations in troubled Borno State. The president gave directives following Monday's coordinated resurgence of terror attacks in the northeast. First to arrive, they say, is the Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu. He visited the blast scenes in Maiduguri and the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital to sympathize with hospitalized victims. They said he used the opportunity to get first-hand information about how the attacks took place. Suspected terrorists detonated explosives at 3 high-density locations in the state capital, leaving 23 persons dead, 108 injured. They said before yesterday's surprise security breach, Maiduguri had been insulated from Boko Haram activities for a long time, which, we remember there was a time that was just the hotbed for insurgency. Then after a while, it just seemed like they're finally free. And then to have that was quite for Nigeria, a regular Nigerian citizen like me, it was a surprise. But I'm hoping that for our security operatives with intelligence, that wasn't too much of a surprise. Anyways, the president has asked that everybody,
they should go there.
Go there.
We keep going there.
I took a bit of that. When I get there, we'll take more. So there's this story that caught my attention. A traditional ruler of Okpela Kingdom, the Okwo Okpelagbe of Okpela, His Royal Highness Mike Sado yesterday said he bought drone and recruited over 100 security personnel to tackle insecurity in Esako East Local Government and its environment. I'm taking this story because of Nima, that's her area. And he said he would erect a building for the police area command as well. He spoke during the interaction with reporters and he dismissed reports of his arrest by the EFCC. Abasado, according to how he's called, said some of his subjects that were used to sharing community development levies were unhappy with the reforms he introduced in the past 7 months. So they ensured that he ensured that there was no misuse of funds anymore, and mentioned that infrastructural improvements have been recorded since he ascended the throne. And he said the alleged petition to the EFCC was aimed at damaging his reputation because of his insistence that community fund must be used for development rather than shared among those individuals. So it was those individuals that now came together and called EFCC on him. But if they don't find anything, they will not be able to hold him. I'm happy he's insisting on developing, the state and not the local government and the area, not just spending money and sharing money. You know how these cabals can want to fight you when you're trying to do the right thing. A major headline: killing spark fury, defense chiefs move into Maiduguri. Il-the-Fitir, security on high alert nationwide after Borno blasts. 2027 Tinubu ministers seeking office get March 31 resignation deadline. Refineries spend 5.7 trillion on foreign oil despite Naira for crude policy. And Nigeria secures 746 million pounds UK deal to modernize ports. Mohbad, family's lawyer questions lab capacity for DNA testing. And hardship, Labour pushes 154,000 Naira minimum wage. What do we have in the panel?
I have what do you call them? Those Tinubu's ministers seeking office. The president has directed all political appointees under his administration who intend to contest elective offices in 2027 general election to resign their appointments on or before March 31st, 2026. So those who will be affected include ministers, ministers of state, special advisors to the president, senior special assistants, personal assistants, directors general and chief executive officers of federal government parastatals, agencies, commissions, and government-owned companies, as well as other political appointees of the president. This was announced by a circular was sent out, which was signed by the secretary to the government of the federation. This is just really to say, before you run for office, this according to our constitution, just make sure, drop the appointments aside. And then you contest.
Focus. Yeah, makes sense.
So
go ahead.
There was a video that went viral. I saw the story in the papers, and the video involved abuse of power by police force. And I was happy that the police is, well, they said they would investigate the abuse that they saw in the video. This is officially from the chairman of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation and Special Offences Enforcement Unit, CSP Adetayo Akerele, who said that the way the video is being pushed is a distraction from what they're trying to do. So this unit, there's accusation from Object TV media showing a video of a man in a one-way road, and the man in the video was saying he wasn't the one that drove the car. Allegedly, the police took over the steering, turned the car around, and then captured him like he was on a one-way drive, and were trying to extort him for that. So they said, based on that, that the CSP dismissed the allegation, describing it as an attempt to blackmail the police for what they've done, because the video didn't capture the policeman turning the car around, but captured the man saying, I wasn't the one that drove this car into a one-way road. It wasn't the one. So he listed that the agency would continue to carry out raids on hideouts and removal of street traders. And when they remove taking off street traders, usually evokes a lot of emotion, because a lot of street traders are in the poor circle of the society, and this is their only way of making money. But the CSP said they will continue to do their work and they will not be blackmailed by videos making the rounds on social media. Of course, we'll definitely applaud you for the good work, but appeal that you should please have compassion in the process of doing your work and ensure that the team, if they found culpable in anything wrong, extortion, should be held liable.
Okay. Amaka?
The National Public Service Negotiating Council of the Organized Labour has formally demanded a 154,000 Naira minimum wage which is a 120% upward review of salaries and allowances for public workers in Nigeria. They never finished the one with they won't start on that one. The new demand, according to the union, is to mitigate what is described as life of servitude currently being experienced in the country. The demand was contained in a letter addressed to the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, dated March 12, 2026. In the letter, which was jointly signed by the National Chairman of the JNPSNC, Mr. Benjamin Anthony, and the National Secretary, Mr. Olowo Wenga, where the demand was premised on the outcome of an exhaustive meeting by the council. The letter, which they said, the main thing in the letter, the main cook of the gist is that despite their immense contributions, public service workers continue to face severe economic hardship due to the rising cost of living and the declining purchasing power of their earnings. The problem here is that most states just started meeting their own this thing, minimum wage, the 70,000. They've struggled. So that means we are trying to now build a fight for the ending part of this year. I can see it coming, and the strikes. But let's cool off from one before we enter another one. And not be every day fight.
Moving now on to the Daily Sun. Borno terrorist attack. Police confirms 23 dead, 108 injured. Quit office before March 31st. Tinubu orders appointees with political ambition. Kaduna bandits threaten to kill 32 abductees if 30 million ransom is not paid. I have issues with Oyetola, not Tinubu, according to Adeleke. Federal government urges oil industry operators to accelerate short-term production gains. DSS arrests suspected gun runner in Cross River with 832 live ammunition. Soludo sworn in for second term, promises to do more for Anambra. What do we have in the Sun?
Kaduna, residents of Kutaho and Kugir communities in Arabi ward of Kagarko local government area of Kaduna State have raised the alarm over the continued hostage of 32 villagers abducted by bandits more than a month ago. So the kidnappers have demanded 30 million naira ransom and 4 motorcycles for their release, otherwise they will be killed. The 32 were reportedly kidnapped February 9th during a midnight raid. They invaded the communities, fired gunshots, forced residents out of their homes before taking dozens of people to an unknown destination. There were women as part of these victims, a pregnant woman inclusive, and children, and they're still waiting to hear from them. The community are saying that, members of the community are saying that, see, they have sold everything they own and still they do not have enough money to meet the 30 million naira ransom. The community known, their economic strength was in farming, but a lot of people have fled that community because of this attack. And here we are, just yet another story of Nigerians in problem.
Yeah. Any other story in the Sun?
My own story is inside again. I took the story.
Go ahead.
I took the story in Nation. It was a headline then, but I couldn't get to say it. AFCON. So, this is how Morocco has become champion. This drama had happened right from when the match took place earlier in the year, and they had fined Senegal $1 million and also imposed other penalties on Senegal. However, there was a contest. Morocco went ahead to go to court and say that wasn't enough punishment. January 19 was the final in Rabat, and Senegal left the field in protest during the stoppage time of 15 minutes and came back to finish the match and won. They scored 1 goal. Now, the penalty was $1 million in fine and ban for Senegal and Morocco players because there was a bit of confrontation. People tried to jump into the field. All of that rowdiness happened. But they now went to court. And when they went to court, it's been awarded that the winning should go to Morocco. Morocco really wanted to host and win. And somehow, by Senegal's whatever happened, misdoings, they have allowed Morocco to win out. They said they can still go to the court-off. the Senegal zone was more, or Morocco zone was more.
Morocco.
So allegation to allegation. Many people are against the ruling. Some are saying that it doesn't speak well for the case, but they say the case could still go further to the Court of Arbitration for Sports to see how it will go. But Morocco people are happy because suddenly they are now champions from behind the scene.
Any other story?
Yeah. So operatives of the Department of State Service (DSS) have arrested a suspected gun runner, Mr. Kelvin Duga, at Ivara Estate in Cross River State. According to security sources, his arrest followed credible evidence on his plan to buy 832 rounds of live ammunition from one Mr. Azen Dabanabas alias Jagaban, who is also suspected, who is another suspected gun runner based in Bende State. So they waited for him. Immediately he got the consignment, which was concealed in food items. They, caught him, arrested him, and he also had 2 empty AK-47 magazines. The sources said that the DSS has intensified its pursuit of such criminals, launching sustained operations across the states of the Federation. They also stated that this successful operation is one of many ongoing nationwide efforts, highlighting the DSS firm commitment to dismantling gun-running syndicates and curbing illegal arms proliferation, declared the source. So great one, at least, because they're supposed to find out what they want to do with that gun runner. Why are you selling it to?
Yeah.
Not
The
just
final paper for today. I think I should do the Nigerian Tribune. We don't have a lot of time, so I'll just look at the stories we haven't taken. Trump says U.S. doesn't need NATO support in Iran crisis. Who took that story? Tell us.
President Trump of the United States has declared that the United States does not need assistance from its allies amid escalating tensions surrounding a potential conflict with Iran, claiming that most members of NATO are unwilling to get involved. So they said he had made a post on Truth Social. He hardly uses it. And he was informed by most of our NATO allies that they don't want to get involved in the Iran situation. He said he's not surprised. He criticized the alliance, arguing that while the U.S. continues to provide protection for member states, the support is not reciprocated in times of need. Remember, I had taken the story where he called NATO, people, let's sit down and figure this thing out. What are we doing? NATO said, how are we involved? The different countries in NATO, especially Germany. Germany says, hello, what's going on here? Are we in this conversation? So they are saying this is not, we need to even know what your plan is concerning this war. When will it end? There's nothing. And as we know, we had one of his top officials in the United States has resigned. So it's not looking quite good for United States.
Put us into what we don't know. It's not going to work. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews.